Hello and welcome to the 14th Impact Youth video devotional on the book of Genesis. Today we're going to be looking at Genesis chapters 45 through 47. And where we pick up the story is Joseph has encountered his brothers. He hasn't yet told them who he is. But at the very beginning of 45, he realizes how sad they are when he's kind of tricked them into thinking that he's not going to allow their youngest brother Benjamin to be able to leave and go back to their father. And they had promised their dad, hey, we'll bring Benjamin back. And Judah had said, I'll make sure he comes back. And Judah's saying, hey, leave me here. Let me be your slave and your servant, but don't do this to our dad. Finally, we see that Joseph can't take it anymore. The gig's up and he tells him who he is. And what I love is that it's in chapter 45, verse 7 and 8, where he says, God sent me ahead of you to preserve our remnant of our family. And in verse 8, so it's not you who sent me here, but God. And remember, they're the ones that pushed him into a pit and sold him to traders so that he was taken away to Egypt. From their perspective, Joseph being in Egypt was completely their doing. It was their sin that led him there to Egypt. But Joseph looks at all this difficulty and he says, but guys, look, God brought me here so that I can be in this position of power, so that I can, and he gave me the ability to interpret these dreams so that we can have food during all of this famine. God took what you did and he's using it for ultimately a bigger purpose. And so he then says, hey, go back, tell dad about me, that I'm here, and bring him back. I want to see him and you guys can come and live here. One other thing you'll need to notice is, yes, their dad's name is Jacob, but it's right around this part of Genesis where he starts going by the name Israel. So when you see the name Israel, that's also Jacob, and that's why they become called the Israelites, because he has the name Israel here. So they go back and they get their dad and they bring him back into Egypt and they go meet with Pharaoh and they get Pharaoh to say, yes, you can have this specific land in Egypt. It can be all yours. And then the end of 47 just tells exactly how Joseph managed the land of Egypt and how he slowly acquired everybody's belongings for Pharaoh, everybody's land for Pharaoh, and kind of talks about how the Pharaoh of Egypt became so incredibly powerful. And we know that he became powerful because of the pyramids and all these great buildings that Egypt has. And Genesis chapter 47 explains to us how that leadership in Egypt became so powerful. It was because of this famine, ultimately, and because of Joseph's incredible wisdom in leadership, all through God giving him that wisdom. It's a fascinating story. It helps us to understand all the power that Egypt had 2000 BC and even before that is because of Joseph and God working through him. So that's your tidbit for the day. There's only one more video lesson to get through and you will be done with all of Genesis. Congratulations.